All right. We are back with another episode of the Florencio Files, and I'm glad because our man is stepping into one suit of his power armor at a time. He's locking and loading his Gauss rifle, and of course, getting ready to play some Terran. That's right, up here in the top right-hand side, starting off building SCVs, and what an evolution that's been for this man. It is Florencio. Down here in the bottom left-hand side, his Zerg opponent. It's Markman. So we're going to see a Terran versus Zerg match. For those of you who are new to the Florencio Files, Florencio has actually really been making waves as Terran and Zerg. Originally a Protoss player for decades, for many years. Brood War, StarCraft 2, and very much focusing on basically being a master of small, intricate details to screw with his opponent's head, do what they least expect, and to kind of funnel them into the route that he wants them to go, you know? Trying to get them to move a certain way, and he's already set up a trap there. He's very tricky, laying traps and putting out baits and that sort of stuff. And I guess if we had to compare him to a regular fighter, we'd say he doesn't really... he maybe weighs 70 pounds, you know? Doesn't have an ounce of muscle on his whole body. In terms of raw ability to multitask, raw micro technique, I mean, Florencio is probably one of the slowest players out there. What's his APM? He's at 80 APM here, and yet he's made it to a point where he's taken those maps off those high level players, and most importantly, I think he's ruined a lot of people's enjoyment of StarCraft one at a time on the ladder, when they've, you know, kind of come to the realization after seeing him do nonsensical maneuver after nonsensical maneuver, they've realized they've been toyed with, and that despite all of the nonsense and the lack of mechanical execution, there was some strategic genius, more than a little madness, and they've somehow succumbed to it. So losing to this man is uncomfortable. What are we looking at? 3 command centers, then a gas, and then the first barracks. And he's got an SCV. It's been sitting over here for a minute. I have no idea what he's for. So Florencio, I mean, recently we've talked about, he made his account Macro King, and he started learning how to make more and more workers and bases than ever before. And he does this more and more with Terran, right? It feels like the way he likes to win is often build enough planetaries and enough defense and actually just harass them with little things to annoy them. Widow mines, battle cruisers, liberators, Hellions running in, and just bait them into attacking into his planetary fortresses. And no orbitals just yet, so I think we're going to see that again. He's going to build a barracks on the other side of the map. His Zerg opponent going, is this one base muta? I mean, this could actually, normally I'd call this a trash build, but this actually could do really well versus a guy who just finished his first barracks. So Markman is going one base, ling speed, lair, double gas, up into a couple of Zerglings here. Florencio moves down his first move out onto the map, other than that barracks that is proxied over there, is to build a bunker on the low ground. So he's going to start working forwards in that regard. Florencio building a depot whilst at 29 out of 61 supply. Why? Oh, man. It's like, not only is a fighter with no muscle on him, he's a fighter with no muscle whose first move is to, like, break his own fingers. Like, that's most of Florencio's openings are the equivalent of a guy stepping into the ring and starting to break, like, half of the fingers on his hand before the friggin' fight even starts. It's just so inefficient. Wait, sorry, guys. There is a reason. 69. He wanted to be out of 69 supply for as long as possible. So he's built the depots and the command centers hit 69, and then he stopped. Meanwhile, it's barrack scouting. Right, he says, I don't have scans because I want to make planetaries with these command centers in a bit. So how will I scout? And he says, anyone here a pervert? This one guy raises his hand. He's like, well, I know there's more of you that are, but that's the only unashamed pervert. That's the only one who gets caught, like, being a bit of a perv and just kind of smiles and is like, giggity. He's got literally Quagmire friggin' driving a barracks around, just perving on everything the Zerg's doing. You know what's funny? The Zerg just built a shitload of Zerglings, and I think that was in response. I think he saw the barracks floating in, thought this was somehow an attack, and he's made a whole shitload of Zerglings. There's another one coming in as well. Oh, you know what? He could even land those at the bases and block the expansions as well. Oh, Florencio, you bad lad. For now, he's scouting everything with these barracks. I mean, I love this. It's the Terran Overlord. It's the Terran Observer. It's loud. There's rock music playing out of it. It's not exactly a very secretive scout, but it's hard to take out of the skies. As his Zerg opponent goes Hydras and a Hive. Okay. All right, the build order of this Zerg, a little questionable. What are you doing? What is this? Well, I can't wait to see what the Hive is. I mean, it's Vipers or Ultras are the only thing that makes sense with the order in which he's doing it. And even then, it's a hint, a fragment, a little essence, just a little bit of sense. Definitely not dollars. Definitely not whole bills. If they are, they're probably ink-stained counterfeits. Anyways, Hellions are now coming out. We've got 2 starports, 2 factories behind this, does Florencio. He's got a planetary there. No planetary in the main just yet, but not the most important one to start. And Barracks comes in and sees a Hive. And Florencio's got to be scratching his head and thinking, like, what? And he starts another one. I love this, like, whole army of Barracks scouts. This is incredible. He's like, yeah, dude, I get to see everything that goes on. He's like, this has always been my problem with Terran. I don't know what they're doing. If I just keep building barracks and floating them in, this is sick. Oh my god. So he's going Liberators and Hellions. So no good raw fighting units just yet. He's still at out of 69 supply, the absolute mad lad. This was actually a conscious choice, wasn't it? What's the bet? He's there and people are like, so why do you build so many depots at the start when your command center is already providing supply? And he's like, I like 69ing. You're like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Like, like, really, why do you do this? And you know he just, like, has a stupid grin on his face. And he's like, I like 69. Like, honestly, if it was possible with any normal build just to get stopped at 42 supply, I'm sure he would do that as well. But it's 44 normally. So, unfortunate the numbers don't quite line up on that one for him. Liberators are coming out and they're just kind of sieging up bases. He's still building barracks and just floating them in one at a time. The Zerg made a really fast Hive, which, by the way, Markman has used for literally nothing. He's not doing anything. So the Zerg is like now taking a 3rd and a 4th, but hasn't even really droned up the natural yet. Has put a few workers on gas. Hasn't used the Hive for anything. Is setting up Overseers on pervert mode with their little eyeballs outside their head for some reason. Is the floating barracks throwing him through a loop? Has he forgotten? What's the Hive even for? What's it for? I don't think we're getting an answer to that one. Anyway, more factories are on the way. Quite a lot of Liberators building, which is interesting. Against a player who's gone Hydras, I wouldn't really expect Liberators to have been the choice. Armory is now on the way. And Florencio is building up that economy. 8 minutes, he's at 53 SCVs, which is about the most godlike macro you're ever going to see from Florencio. He's actually up on 4 gases already as well. He's got a 3rd and a 4th factory, a 5th factory on the way. He's actually going up into many, many tech labs. Another barracks finishes and floats in. At a certain point, this is going to, I think, hurt Markman's brain, because Markman's going to be like, where do they keep coming from? And I mean, well, they've all come from the exact same location. This one, SCV, has built 5 scouting barracks now. Like 5? 4? 3 have died, plus this one. So he's built 4 so far. And oh my god, the Hive gets used! An Ultra Cavern, a Spire, and a Lurker Dead all going down in the main base. And Florencio's first attack goes in. He loses 3 Hellions for absolutely... Wait, did he get... Oh, he just got 8 drones. Oh no, I just missed 8 drones going down on the 3rd. Sorry, guys. Those Hellions actually ran in and roasted some drones. I'm just looking at them both not do anything for a while, and I fell asleep at the helm. My bad on that one. We got 5 factories there, 2 starports. Zerg is now going to attack it. Oh my god, he's not even looking. He just runs in a column, 0 organization, and says, yes, attacking a bunker, a planetary, and a lib seems like a good idea. He kills a bunker and 1 marine, and he keeps going. What are you doing? Oh my god, no. Oh my god. Oh my god. What are you, oh my, don't fight a planetary. What is wrong with you people? Oh my god. Do people not know what a planetary fortress is? Do they not know? Oh my god, who mindlessly follows those orders? That's like getting told to, you get a whole bunch of police and you're like, go cavalry, go, don't even cavalry charge, go charge go charge those machine guns with your little battens. And they're like, oh, can we have guns? And you're like, no. Don't do that. Hey, look at this thing. You see a giant metal friggin' entrenched bloody piece of infrastructure with giant cannons on it. You don't attack that with a handful of lings and hydras. Oh, Zerg players. Oh my god. A few more hydras do rebuild. Getting some anabolic steroids, synthesis for the Ultralisk. Greatest Fire, Lurker range. So the Zerg player is building a little bit of everything. Florencio's plan still seems to be focused around basically starting a fire in his pants, in his side of the map, because there's only so much you can just play with yourself in the corner before, honestly, I mean, there's going to be some chafing involved. Number 1 through 3, definitely, I think you can already notice a degrading amount of pleasure in the first, 3-minute segments of this map. But by number, like, 13 or 14, I mean, I think it's actually a serious health concern as the layer of, skin there is only so thick and it can get chafed. And anyway, long story short, what are you doing, Florencio? What is this? He's making Liberator, Planetary. There's Thors, there's Ghost, there's Cloak. He's got 2 Ghost Academies, so I guess we're going to see nukes after that. There are 5 Ultras on the way. Finally, that tech gets used. Wait. But he made Ultra Speed, which is a super niche upgrade. Only boosts them on creep by 10%. Doesn't help them off creep at all. No chitinous plating, which is the most important upgrade. So Mark Ritter is making Hive Tech, has forgotten about evolution chambers to upgrade said units. And, does have a 3rd base up. Okay, there's a 4th and a 5th going on here. Another barracks. I love this. I love that this one SCV's job is just to build, like, pervert balloons, essentially. He's just, like, there's this one guy who's just standing there, and he's just constantly sending drones over into his neighbor's yard, and he's, like, spying on them while they're next to the pool and shit. And he's like, oh, I'm going to take some sneaky photos of you and your budgie smugglers. Yeah. Oh, yes. It's, like, fucking weird and creepy, but it'd be even creepier if it was instead of a modern drone, you go, what's that sound? It's literally like, you can imagine if a barracks is floating over you, it's got to be like underneath a helicopter taking off or something, right? Where it's like, and the friggin' air is getting pushed down and you're like, whoa. Like, it's not exactly very secretive, is it? It's true, unashamed perversion. I guess we've got a Lurker Hydra Ultra attack. Florencio doesn't have that much, but Liberate is very good versus Ultras. That Ghost, though, oh, the Ghost gets caught by the Ultra. There's a Thor on the high ground. Master Repair coming down. Yet another attack coming in for the Zerg. The Lurkers are a little bit slow to the party. They're not burrowing. Okay, they're going to burrow. They might kill the SCVs, maybe, but these Liberators are tearing it up. Oh, the SCVs are repairing it right now. There's still one Lurker alive. The Hellions trying to fight it like the badasses they are, but that Thor, boom, boom, and just double taps that Lurker, takes it down. 6 more Ultras on the way, though. So the Zerg player, despite having the worst opening of all time, since then, figured out how to hold down the drone key, and is up on over 70 workers now. Has a decent amount of money coming in. I do worry about the Zerg's ability to reproduce. I mean, the opening has been absolutely nonsensical from Markman, but from here, we're seeing Markman kind of, have a decent economy. No Evo chambers is definitely an issue as time goes on. I think Broodlords would have been a fantastic move, but now that the Thor count's growing, they're kind of past their use by date. 9 Ultras on the way, which could still do really well. Remember, Florencio doesn't build upgrades either. And Florencio's only on 3 bases. He's going to float an expansion out to the left now. He hasn't put back on gas here. His 3rd's very well saturated. And oh, whoa, we got our first nuke coming in. First nuke coming in. Oh, there's an Overseer of pervert mode there. Wait, he's got an Overseer there. He literally can see the Ghost. The Ghost is standing in plain sight. No. Oh my god. Oh my god. How incompetent can you be? What? What the fuck? I was like, it's cloaked. Oh no. Wait, there's an Overseer standing right above it. He's like, guys. He's blowing his whistle. He's like, guys, he's here. He's here. The Ultras and the Hydras is running around, fucking headbutting into random walls and shit. Jesus. Markman with a truly uncoordinated swarm. That's just an Unco army, isn't it? The Ultra Hydra running around. And Florencio says, come over here. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I lead you in a circle? Oh, shit. There's more of them. Oh, get the drones. Get the drones. Oh, there's no. Oh, I nuked them, didn't I? Oh, I thought you'd have new babies popping out by now. Another wave of aliens coming in from the same right side, though, but he knows there's no drones down here. So, uh-oh. And he queued up an attack move. Hellions not very good versus Ultras, guys. I actually like this. Markman left an Ultra and some things on the right. I'm going to imagine he meant to do that rather than just, you know, forgetting about them. Wait, what? So these are Florencio's control groups. The Zerg has no control groups. Not even hatcheries. This Zerg is building units by going around and clicking on the hatcheries. No! No! Wait. Florencio! Defensive nuke! Defensive nuke! Oh my god, Markman walks right into it! You absolute gronk! Every single Hydra dies. All the Ultras are knocked to half-life. That was no! And oh my god! And then he funnels up the ramp, an entire army for a planetary, doesn't even kill the SCVs. A nuke and a planetary is all that cost Florencio. Holy shit, he's better than 2-1 on the units lost. Who goes into that? Are we not hearing the nuclear launch detected command? Florencio just annihilates the entire army. A nuke like that isn't even meant to kill the army. It's meant to make them back off and buy you a little bit of time. Florencio puts it down and then he's like, oh, this guy's still coming in. You know, this is that thing. It's like you set up a trench that's like literally 10 meters wide, filled with spikes, covered in poison. And the cavalry keep charging, even though you've built it in front of them. You're like, oh, okay. And you just watch them fall into the fucking pit and impale themselves. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Are these Dothraki from the final season of Game of Thrones or something? Like, complete morons? Like, what? What were they thinking? Another nuke is coming down. There's not too many drones for it to get, but it should still do a fair bit of damage. I'm not sure why Florencio has Ravens, other than that he likes clicking on things and using fun spells. He's got a bunch of Hellbats, a whole lot of Thors, and he's going to drop auto turrets there. The little fleet of Ghetto Birds come forward to leave it. Thors and Hellbats doing okay. He's got some Ghosts there. Anti-armor missiles go down. Not going to do that much against this. Auto turrets would be a lot better just to distract and tank it by a bit of time, but the Ultras funneling into a choke point, a pretty bad angle for the Ultras, which still have no upgrades, but neither do the Thors. Both sides are taking pretty heavy losses here. The Ultras do close the distance, and I think they're actually going to overwhelm the power of the Ultralisk, the most beautiful A-move unit in the game. And now if Markman just rebuilds the economy, Markman should be okay to continue this game, because actually, even this base could easily go down. But look at this. The Ravens go down. They try to distract. They put down a whole ton of auto turrets behind the middle, and they're killing the Hydras and a ton of drones. Pull your drones away. Markman, all you need to do is run your drones away. Oh my god, Markman. And rebuild the economy. But Markman is spending the only bank that he has on Ultras and Hydras. And he doesn't even stay, and he just leaves. Okay, we've got to have an instant replay, guys. That nuke was too bloody glorious. I didn't even talk it up at first. I kind of literally had to cut myself off mid-sentence because I couldn't believe what I was looking at. So the Zerg's like, yeah, let's go. And remember, this is the way the Zerg attacked every time. He'd always attack move from his side of the map and attack in a giant spread out column. Like, never would they get to the staging point and organize before going in. It was always like just a long, thin line of units trickling in. And Florencio sees this with his sensor tower, and he's like, oh, okay. Launch a nuke there. Looks like that's where he's going for. And the Zerg player gets a nuclear launch detected warning, and then he's like, yep. And there's a big red dot. There's a big red dot. Very visible. Oh my god. The corpses just flaming all over this shop. This Liberator that already killed like a ton of units in the previous attack. Oh my god, you see that chunk of meat? Oh my god, that Ultralisk meat just went flying. Holy crap. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the Patreon so that I get to cast more awesome games like this. Big thanks to Max and Colonel SC and Pimp City. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye and good night.